All right, as promised, last couple examples from the notes. Like I said in the last video, if you can factor the dividend, I guess this is called, you can factor this one and then this appears as one of them, you can just cross them out. That's going to be easier, but there's not going to be too many examples like that, if any, on our test, because this is not a test about factoring or quiz, whatever it is. It's a test about division. So first thing we would do is we would rewrite this thing so that it looks like a long division problem. And I would say, you all don't have to write this over here, but I do just to help you guys remember that there's a process, right? Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So I divide the first term by the first term and I get x. 2x squared divided by 2x is x. And I multiply. 2x squared, x times negative 1 is negative x. Then I subtract. 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. 5x minus negative x is 6x. So this was like, we didn't see this in the previous examples, but it shouldn't be that. Once you see it, you should understand what's happening. Minus a negative is like adding. So 5x minus a negative x is like 5x plus x, which is 6x. Subtraction, I bring down this. Boom, done. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Now I check, can I divide 6x by 2x? The answer is yes. I get 3 when I do so. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. I'm going to subtract 6x minus 6x is 0. Negative 1 minus negative 3 is a positive 2. So I divided, I multiplied, I subtracted. There's nothing to bring down, and I can see that 2 does not divide by 2x evenly, so I'm done with my division. But like, what do I do with this remainder? This is the remainder. And I will tell you that the way we write these problems when they have remainders is this. You write the quotient plus the remainder over the divisor. So when I divide 2x minus 1 into this, I get x plus 3 plus this remainder. This part here is really the remainder. We could talk more about that if you want later, but you should know that this is how this is written. The remainder is 2, so if I do 2x squared plus 5x minus 1 over 2x minus 1, that equals this, x plus 3 plus 2 over 2x minus 1. So you rewrite this, and then you write the quotient, and then the remainder over 2x minus 1, just like the original thing was over 2x minus 1. So that's how we do remainders when these things have remainders, okay? And now one more concept to recall, which is about placeholders. And that's when it looks like this. So I do this division. It's important that you do this. There's a bunch of missing powers of x up here. There's no x squared. There's no x. Well, that's it. It's missing an x squared term and an x term. And so when you write you're going to want to write them like this. You're going to want to include the zeros because we're going to end up subtracting from these things, and it's good to have the placeholder to know. You don't have to do it for long division. You will for the next thing we study, which is synthetic division, for it to work right. But it's helpful. Most students find it very helpful to do it this way. So missing terms, I call these things placeholders. Means you got to use these placeholders. This is a placeholder. This is a placeholder. It's just letting me know that this is where the x squared term would go if there was one. So our first job is to divide the first term here by the first term here. So I do 125x cubed divided by 5x, and I get 25x squared. I promise. 125 divided by 5 is 25, and x cubed divided by x is x squared. So divided first by first, I multiply this by the whole thing, and I get 125x cubed. Remember, that always happens that way. This product should always be equal to this. Then 25x squared times -2 is -50x squared. And right away, I can see why, it's a 0, why I put the placeholder in there. It's 125x cubed minus 125x cubed is 0. But now I can see that this -50x squared is being subtracted from 0x squared. So I do 0 minus -50, and I get +50x squared. Like if that thing hadn't been there, there would have been a -8, and it throws students off when they first see this to try and do -50x squared minus with a -8 attached to it. It's like very confusing. So we're going to do it this way. This way it's pretty straightforward. 0 minus -50 is 50. Now I do this divided into this, and I get 10x. 10 times 5 is 50. X times x is x squared. Ooh, I didn't bring down the 0x. I should have done that. This was the last step, brought that down. 10x times -2 is -20x. Subtract 50x squared minus 50x squared is 0. 0 minus -20 is 20x. Bring down the -8. Then I do 5x into 20x is 4. 4 times 5x is 20x. 4 times -2 is -8. And these are equal, so I'm going to go to 0. So there's 25x squared plus 10x plus 4. And the important new concept in here was the idea of placeholders. Which is like when you have missing powers of x, you want to account for that to make your subtraction go well by adding in these zero placeholders. So you see what the next page was? All right, it's just one more example. This one, there's the divisor is a trinomial. I'll do this one real quick. There's nothing really that much different about this except that it's longer. So here's my problem, and I just do the same thing. First thing divided by first thing. 2x to the fourth divided by x squared is 2x squared. 2x squared times x squared is 2x to the fourth. That checks out. 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. 2x squared times -3. Oh, I forgot the placeholder. See, this is why this is in here. I noticed that when I got to the x squared term, I hadn't written the placeholder. Ooh, this is it. Okay, I see what I did wrong there. This is good. This is why you have to be careful with these. The missing power is really x cubed. So it's really plus 0x cubed minus 3x squared plus 11x squared minus 15. All right. Everything else is good. 2x squared, and now this is 2x squared minus 3 is -6x cubed. Now I subtract 2x to the fourth minus 2x to the fourth is 0. 0 minus 2 is -2x cubed. -3 minus -6 is +3x squared. That is x squared. I just wrote it wrong. Now I'm going to bring down the 11x. Now I'm going to divide again. -2x cubed divided by x squared. -2x. Now I'm multiplying. -2x times x squared is -2x cubed. -2x times x is -2x squared. Negative 2x times negative 3 is positive 6x. Now I subtract again. I didn't write subtract up here, but I did. This minus this is going to be 0. 3x squared minus negative 2x squared, 5x squared. 11x minus 6x is 5x. Almost done. Bring down the negative 15. X squared into 5x squared is 5. So this looks like it's going to work out well. 5x squared plus 5x minus 15. Those are equal. So I get 0. So this is my answer, and there's no remainder because I got a 0 here at the bottom. So you can see this had a lot of the elements in it. First thing divided by first thing, then multiply what you get by the entire divisor. That's an important point. This placeholder turned out to be important because I screwed it up and forgot to write at the beginning, but then I remembered. So, and then this process repeats and repeats and repeats, and that's about all there is to it. So keep an eye out for more videos, maybe with some problems.